Good morning, everybody. We're waiting on the intro to play. But here I come. And good morning. It is not Matthew Bishop. It is the one, the only, the resounding Chip Matthews, Mr. Buffalo Chip. How y'all doing this morning? It's good to be here. I keep looking online. I was looking online at what the talk show host that I'll refer to as the Journey DJ. Don't stop believing in Trump, man. Understand. I mean, he made a comment saying that tariffs are not going to help. We're never going to get this. Y'all, the country used to run just on tariffs. You know, yeah. I mean, better yet, explain to me in a post why Mississippi gets $2.48 back for every dollar we send them. How does that work? Has to come from somewhere. But anyway, y'all, the stock market is going to be fine. All of these talking heads on the news that keep saying, oh, the worst thing in the world has happened. You know, trust Trump. He has never led you wrong so far. He is balancing the field. You know, I'm sure China doesn't buy. I don't know if there's an American version of Temu, but I'm sure America's not buying. China's not buying from us anything like that. You know, we taught that everybody else how to grow catfish and this, that, and the other. Ruined it here in Mississippi, really, from what it used to be when we had the Delta Prime, which was the prime catfish. You know, there's stuff that's going on out there in the money part of the market. Yeah, I'm stupid. I don't understand. But I know what I got in my pocket. I got in my pocket what I've always had. Lint. Right? Right? I mean, it doesn't matter, y'all. It does not matter. We're in Mississippi. Since the Civil War, there's one thing we have known when the federal government completely destroyed everything we had down here. One thing that we know, we can grow a crop, we'll find something to eat, and we'll get along with our neighbors, and everything will be fine. That's right. Now, to those people that got are financially invested in the stocks and all that, which I was great. It was great yesterday. I got a letter in the mail that when I left one of my former employers, where I was getting 100% match of my contributions. Well, I hadn't touched it, and I guess I hadn't worked anywhere for like 20 years. At that place anyway, or less than that, something like that. They called me and said, would you please come get your money? It just keeps piling up. Yeah. When you don't spend every dollar that you have in your pocket, you can save some money. And then when you start worrying every day about everything on that stock market, it's just going to drive you crazy. Because it isn't like it was going to go way up today and you were going to take a bunch out. You're in it for the long haul. You're in it for the ride. You're in it for the generational wealth that you're going to leave to somebody else. Because look, I'm 63, and you know what? It has come to my attention that I have done everything in my life that I ever wanted to do. When I had stents put in last week or 2 weeks ago and didn't even realize that I needed them, everybody was saying, aren't you nervous? Aren't you upset? Aren't you scared? No, it did not. When I say this completely. I never felt in fear of my life. I did not fear that I was going to die. I felt like doctors were going to do what doctors do. Doctors said I needed a stent. Got a stent. Big deal. I felt y'all didn't hear me miss any. I missed one day of radio, right? That was because they scheduled me on that Tuesday. And I obviously needed it. I was 100% blocked on one side, 99% blocked on the other. They said, you were having a heart attack. Well, somebody should have told me where I could have stopped and act like I was having a heart attack. I hate to discount it to the point that I was working at the restaurant one day, did my radio show the next day. The next day I went in and got stents. By 5 p.m. that day, I was at the restaurant working again. Modern medicine. You got to love it. Okay, so let's get into what's really going on in the world today. Our state Senate, one job. You got one job to do. One job. And when you got elected, because this would be the second year since you've been elected in most cases, or all cases, really. And you had one job, and you go, every year we've got to go, and you brag and tell all you people, well, we've got to go do the budget. We got to budget the money for Mississippi to run. Guess what? And we have 90 days to do it, but we do all this early work all year long that you don't know we do, and we work so damn hard, blah, blah, blah. We're having a special session. Why? Because you were so worried about money that you did have or didn't have. You couldn't decide what was going on in the federal level on the free money we get into the state for you to decide what to do. Meanwhile, every lobbyist, why don't y'all take your lobbyist money and put it into the budget? Tell the lobbyists, let's just donate to the general fund, because I'm not benefiting from it. All of y'all are benefiting from it. Yes, all you people are going out and having steaks. I said, I'm sure the pharmaceutical big box lobbyists have been going to town to try to kill the little man. Yes, that's what they're trying to do. It's sad to me to think that we will go to the Grove in beautiful Oxford, Mississippi, to watch the rebels attempt once again to become national champions. I say that every year. That's what we're going to do. And I was one of the first people that used to set up with a chandelier in the Grove with my group. And right next to us was David Kellum. He was not the voice of the rebels then. He was sitting right next to me. And we embraced the attempt at a national championship, which we all know it's pipe dream. But it's not really a pipe dream. It's getting better. Gotten a whole lot better the last few years. But those early years, when I started going every week, I guess it was right when Billy Brewer got hired, was when I started going every week. And I would sit in the press box and watch the game, and Stan the Man Torgerson would come flying by to go to the bathroom at halftime. I always thought that was funny. He spent every halftime in the bathroom. But anyway, I digress. But we go up there, and we're right there by the School of Pharmacy and this, that, and the other. And you think about all the people that it affects that were Mississippians who invested into the state and stayed here in the state and went to school to become a pharmacist. That's what they did. That's their superpower of our economy. And we're going to let some big box store from some corporate giant, from probably money from BlackRock, probably money from China, because China's heavily invested in making pharmaceuticals for us. All of that. And you're going to listen and take their money. And I'm sure this past week, the money has been flowing because they wanted y'all to extend the session and this, that, and the other. Thank God we didn't extend the session, but we're going to have a special session, because then you only can work on one thing at a time, one thing that has been elected. And of course, we're not going to have anybody taking care of the ballot initiative so that we, the people of Mississippi, have a voice. We're not going to do anything about that. You hadn't even heard anybody talk about it. There was a bill that got a little bit of press that where they were going to do what was it called? It was y'all. It's hard to do work on the drugs they give me, but the bill for recalling politicians. No, well, they damn sure aren't going to pass that. You know that they talked about it. They're not going to pass something like that. That's too conservative. Then we could solve problems like Roger Wicker. We could solve problems like Benny Thompson. We could solve problems like Delbert Hosemann. We could solve problems like anybody that wants to do the wrong thing. We could recall a sheriff if we didn't like what he was doing. We could recall a mayor if we didn't like what he was doing. Chokeway would have already been gone. He was indicted. We could have voted him out. Stuff like that. But no, they don't give us that power. They don't. The state oligarchs, to use a Jameson Haygood word and a new word for the Bernie Sanders movement, the oligarchs don't want us to have any power to do what we need to do as the people. They want our vote, but at the rate they're going, and they're trying to change voting laws and this, that, and the other again. But let's look at this for just a second. At the rate we're going, nobody will be voting in another 8 years. Right. It just keeps going down. The numbers keep going down. The people that vote and make a decision go down. Eventually, we will have a ruling class of politicians in Mississippi who run the state, which is basically what we have now by not having term limits. We have a ruling class that an incumbent is always going to get reelected and is always going to take care of what he feels like taking care of. And when his only job is to do the budget for the state in 90 days, and they can't do it. They did not do it. We're going to be back. We got a lot to bitch about today. We got to talk about Roger Wicker. We got to talk about Benny Thompson. Benny Thompson's going to the border today with a whole bunch of other Democrats. You know why he's going to the border? I don't know. I think he's trying to escape being convicted in America of treason, and that he has worked some deal in Mexico to give him some kind of immunity so that he could go there and be safe. And he's going to say, please help me. They're going to get me in America. They're not going to get me in Mississippi because Mississippi don't care. But they may get me in America for treason. So I got to get across this border. I still don't know what he's doing there. That ought to be interesting. Take a break. We'll be back right here on WYAB. I am Chip Matthews. This is the Chip Matthews Show.
DIY home improvement project, Hometown Rental will even rent you Milwaukee battery power tools, impact drivers, drills, grinders, reciprocal saws, and nail guns. All of these tools are always available to purchase, but sometimes rental is just the better option. As for large equipment, Hometown Rental has multiple sizes of post hole diggers, tillers, chippers, trenchers, and mini excavators. On these pieces of equipment, rental is certainly a better option than purchasing, considering they're just not used that often. Call Hometown Rental today to book the tool for your upcoming project. We're located at 1085 Highway 49 North in Flora. Our number is 601-879-0402. That's 601-879-0402.
Hi, Kim Wade here. Are you craving a home-cooked meal without the hassle? Come over to McBee's Bar and Grill in Richland for their Blue Plate Lunch Special. Served up every weekday, at McBee's is a different entree every day. Chicken spaghetti on Mondays, beef tip Tuesday, pork chop Wednesday, spaghetti Thursday, and catfish Fridays. And McBee's Blue Plate Lunch comes with 2 classic southern sides and cornbread or a roll. McBee's specials are served every weekday from 11 to 2. McBee's, buzzing the res since 1982.
What are people saying about Tom's Fried Pies in Richland? Tom's Fried Pies. And I made the mistake. I ordered one pie. I figured, you know what? I'll try Tex-Mex. It was so good. Man, second go around, I ate the pecan pie. You will need a meat pie and a dessert one. Get both because they are off the hook.
I went to Tom's Fried Pies today, and I'm going back. I tried the taco one. Really good. When I go back, I'll bring some home.
Tom'sFriedPies.com. Have you been injured through no fault of your own? Do you know your rights? Don Evans does. Do you really believe that the insurance company would disclose all information to you? Don Evans will make sure that you are fully informed. It costs nothing to discuss your case. From car wrecks to malpractice, Don Evans will make you and your family whole again. Don Evans won't ever charge unless he collects for you. Call Don for a free no-obligation consultation at 601-969-2006.
Hey everybody, it's John at Two Gun Tactical. We're having Kim Wade Wednesdays at both locations. So you come in and mention Kim Wade on a Wednesday, you get half price range fees. Hey, if you're a member, we're going to give you an extra free target just for mentioning Kim Wade Show. Come on in and work on your shooting and exercise that 2A right that if we don't fight for it, we won't have it much longer. It's twoguntactical.com. That's the number 2, guntactical.com.
Rapid Oil Change has been the fast service leader in oil changes for over 40 years. With parts that fit most makes and models in stock. It's easy to see. Lucas and Full Flight. We do more than just like wiper cabin filters, air filters, and much, much more. Open 6 days a week and ready to serve.
Click.
One of our 6 fast.
Oh, yes. Yes. And we're back here on the Chip Matthews Show, filling in on for the full story for Matt Bishop. But this is going to become my new slot, 6 to 7. I think he's going to come in and visit with us some next week, or I'm going to visit with him. I don't know how we're going to call it, but this will be where I will be. And even when I become mayor of Canton, y'all, I will still have time to come talk to y'all before I start the city's business each and every day. But you got to get out and vote for me for that to happen. And that won't be till June because we still don't know who we're running against. We're either running against Tim Taylor, a current alderman of Canton, or we're running against the person who got the most votes in the primary. That would be Camelia Walker, the person who is a school teacher who has had her license removed from her, suspended from teaching for 10 years for changing the test scores at a Canton school for the test scores, where the state's test scores would go from an F to a C or a low D or high D. But she was keeping us. She was doing it for Canton. I'm keeping them from being taken over by the state. No, you're keeping kids from learning, and you've got the whole world fooled that they're not learning. That's what you're doing. You cheated us out of the money we put into the kids in Canton to be educated, to go do something other than ride the streets at 2 o'clock in the morning as 14 and 13-year-olds, which, once again, they don't have a driver's license. You can pull them over and put them in jail. But anyway, they got guns, this, that, and the other. They're riding around at 2 o'clock in the morning, raising havoc all over the city rather than going to school, and the parents don't care. We made nobody care because a parent of a 14-year-old may be 28 and still sowing their own oats. Come on, people. We just got to get it figured out. We've got to fix the culture. It's culture rot. That's what we have. We got to fix it. In Jackson, it's the same problem. Jackson and Canton are the same. And if we don't watch it, they're going to spread all over Madison County and get into the, it's already happening some, but it's going to get into Ridgeland. It's going to get into Madison. It's going to get into Gluckstadt. We got to fix it. We got to fix it. But anyway, let's talk about this. Let's talk about Roger Wicker. Every show, overnight show, is all on Roger Wicker today. And why should they? They should be, because the military-industrial complex, the guy that Mississippi sends to Washington to take care of us, the guy that's supposed to be all about Trump and what we want, because we voted Trump in with big numbers here in Mississippi. But Roger Wicker goes, oh, excuse me. We're going to investigate Pete Hedgepeth. He was always a problem already, was Roger Wicker, when we were affirming him. And now Roger Wicker is embarrassing the state of Mississippi once again with we're gonna start setting up traps inside the military industrial with at the Pentagon to keep a watch on Pete. Pete doesn't know what he's doing. Pete was put in office and approved to do the job, and he's been doing the job. Y'all can bring up this signal gate all you want. By the time they get through, they're going to find out that somebody hacked it and put somebody's name in there. Y'all trust the Atlantic. The Atlantic says the stock market and everything, we're going into a recession. Y'all, we're not going in anything. And here in Mississippi, we've been so dirt poor for so long, we don't feel anything. And then the legislature in the state capitol down there is sitting down there. They don't know how, they can't figure out how to spend money that they don't have. Okay? Because that's what they want to do. They're just like the federal government. The federal government spends money they don't have. This government was trying to figure out, in the state of Mississippi, was trying to figure out how to bring in more money from the federal government, which Mississippi sends $1, and we already get back $2.48. So we get 2.5 times the money we send up there back to the state. And we can't figure out how to spend it. And we want to get some more because we want to get some of that Obama health care money. We want to get some of that into the state. Meanwhile, you're also, by waiting to the last minute, this, that, and the other, all these lobbyists that had something on their mind, they said, look, we can get you some money. I know the economy's tough on all of us that are not elected to office, but we're going to go into these special sessions and this, that, and the other, and we didn't get certain things funded and we didn't make certain things happen. So what's going to happen? Everybody's going to start getting vacations. They're going to get carried on trips. They're going to go down to the coast and do this, that, and the other. Thank God the coast is in Mississippi. At least we think you're here. But sooner or later, you'll all be on boats like, what's that guy from Jackson? Chiltway? What about Jody Owens? You'll be out there on a boat in Miami. We're going fishing. We're going deep sea fishing. Can you give me some money for my campaign? Can you put it in my campaign box? Yeah. It makes it hard for all of us to live here in Mississippi when we start to feel that we can't trust anybody with anything. Is there anybody down there that you would hand your wallet to? Is there anybody? Would you let Delbert have your wallet? Delbert can take your $100 bill in your wallet and turn it into $1,000 of fake money, and then tell you can't have it back. Can't have it back. Delbert, we got to give it to Democrats. We got to help the Democrats. That's what Delbert's there for. He's not there. I'm going to be a Republican, but you keep being a Democrat. You got all mad because you didn't get things done, and everybody still, my phone's going crazy. China retaliates with 34% tariff. Y'all, that just means TMU is not going to be $1 for something that they don't put the instructions in. You'll buy something on Temu, and I can promise you that you'll look at it and go, oh, I got one of those. I got the new headset. I can do this. Oh, where are the instructions? They don't give them to you in Chinese where you can find somebody who can tell you what they say. You got to go find it's better to go find a teenager and say, look, how does this work? And just give it to them and give them a week or two to play with it. And they'll come back and say, hey, this is how it works. Rather than me try to put it together and go, well, I got it to work, but I got all these extra parts. It's crazy. It is absolutely stupid what we do here in Mississippi. And then this election thing. I mean, I should be just talking about local elections. That's what I should be talking about today. How important it is for you to go out and vote, because you don't go out and vote. You don't go. And you had 24,000 votes in Jackson in the last election, and you're going, well, we're going to have a runoff. Well, how many people are going to show up in a runoff? With each election, the number will not go up. It will go down on the number of people that turn out. And we not only have a Democratic runoff in the mayor's race, we have a Republican runoff in the mayor's race. And you know what that means? We know that overall the Republican, or those three that are on the ballot, are not going to win in Jackson, Mississippi. But I am happy they're on the ballot, because it's so important that Republicans get on the ballot so that in the future we can get a few more votes, and we can get a few more votes, because the Republicans are dying out. The new party of Mississippi, and it's not the Democrats. It's the Rhino Party. It's the Rhino Party. And when you see these Democrats from Benny Thompson's district that all moved over to the Republican Party like they recruited something new, all that is Republicans coming over to give Democratic policies inside the Republican Party, which is the Rhino Party of Mississippi. I don't know why they call it the GOP, because it isn't the grand old party. I promise you that. Because anytime I have ever spoken up, when I was a part of that party, and when I say part of that party, that means in the group, nobody wanted to listen. Nobody wanted to do anything. Madison County version of this party that isn't capable of raising money. They support nothing but rhinos. They do not get out and try to build the party. Some do. There are some there that want to do everything right. And then they call me to this day, which I'm no longer a part of that party, due to a secret ballot. A secret ballot. And they said, Chip, you got too many adjectives. You got too many special words that you use when you get loud in our meetings. We're trying to have a meeting, and we really don't want to have a meeting every month. But the big thing there is you got to raise money. You got to have money to help candidates win. You gotta have an effort to go out and walk the streets with those candidates. Y'all say it's all the candidates. They know what they signed up for. They're running for office. No, it's a team. It's supposed to be the Republican Party, and we work as a group to try to better our society that we live in, to fix everything in Mississippi. But we don't do it that way. We don't do it that way. We let people run for office, and we make it harder for them to win because we don't work on trying to get the vote out. In Rankin County, they work hard to get the vote out. They have signs out. The Republican Party reminds you to vote. Billboards out. Republican Party reminds you to vote. In Madison County, nothing. Crickets. Crickets, people. And it would be real easy to start gathering new politicians and people to run for office in Madison County. I would go to each HOA and work that, find the HOA president of each one of those HOAs. And we all hate HOAs because we all hate anybody telling us what to do. We all hate it. But we don't do anything to fix it. We don't do anything to fix it. Let's take a break. We'll be back. But they could go to every HOA and at least find 5 people in each community up and down the different roads and bring them all together, put them on a ballot, run them for office, and have a better representation of what's going on than what we have. You know, I heard that somebody voted on a bill and they wanted me to get on to her, but I'm not sure because I can't find the information to make sure that this person voted on it. But as soon as I do, I will be getting on to her. And y'all told me to get on to her and told me to do something because she was on a trip somewhere. This is a Madison County politician. And she says, I didn't know I was voting for that. You didn't read the bill, is what everybody's saying. That's what they were saying at Gripper Grid. You didn't read the bill. Well, I was busy. You weren't elected to be busy. You were elected to work. We'll be back in just a second.
Green's Tire and Auto on Ridgewood Road in Ridgeland can do it all. Is your check engine light on? Take it to Green. Air not blowing cold anymore? Take it to Green. Squeaky brakes, bald tires, misaligned front end? Take it to Green. Green's Tire and Auto can do it all. Your car can operate just like new again when you take it to Green. Green's Tire and Auto, Ridgewood Road in Ridgeland. Take it to Green. 601-957-0201. Friday mornings are special here on 103.9 WYAB. That's when we hit the pause button on the stressful issues of the day and enjoy interesting conversation and terrific music by some of the most outstanding artists in the world, all from Mississippi. I'm Chip Thorne, inviting you to join us every Friday morning at 9 for That's What's Happening's Blues and Arts Hour, made possible by Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Mississippi. It's good to be blue, and presented by one-of-a-kind, locally owned Fusion Coffee House, Highland Colony Parkway, Richmond. Efficient and trouble-free payroll processing is crucial to a business's success, and a lot of businesses are struggling with it. PeopleLease, a local payroll provider, not only offers top-of-the-line software, but also provides on-demand payroll support services. With PeopleLease, you're never on your own at every step of your payroll process. PeopleLease has the expertise in managing payroll challenges and will work hard to understand your business and employees. That's what makes PeopleLease the perfect choice for you and your business. Learn more online at peoplelease.com.
Y'all come see us at Flora Animal Hospital, your trusted hometown vet. We offer a wide variety of veterinary services, including boarding. Dr. Kaylee McCary is a Madison County native who has been serving the Flora community and surrounding areas since 2013. She leads our team of highly trained and compassionate women. We are located at 740 Highway 49 in the Cotton Exchange Plaza. Call us today at 601-879-3222. At Flora Animal Hospital, we treat your pets like our own.
It is the full story. Matt Bishop Show right here on WYB. I'm Chip Matthews. That's right. I've been filling in, and it's fixing to be my show real soon, I hope. It does look that way. I was told it was. But anyway, I'm here, and I'm sitting here with this audience of idiots, and I hate to call you idiots. Many of you will fundamentally walk around today, and you'll talk among your friends. You'll talk about politics. And the first thing I want you to know that out of everybody that you see today, if you vote, then the next 10 people you run into do not vote. They'll all say they vote. But, when only, 20% of the population is voting, I'm sure you're running into nobody that votes. I had one couple that worked real hard with me in the supervisor's race, and they wanted to make sure that I won. And then, the female went out and voted. The male, I had to work. I didn't have time to go vote. I ain't got time to do that. You better find time to vote. That's why you're sitting there in District 4 and District 5 in Madison County being represented by two crooks. And then, of course, y'all, if we don't find somebody to run for Gerald Steen, we're never going to get anything done in Madison County again. Although you had the Makita boys. They were looking down there trying to get some more money for economic development in Madison County, y'all. And we've got all kind of businesses coming there. There's stuff that hadn't been announced yet that's going in out there at the Super Center in Madison County. But where's it? Where's the mega site? It's in Canton, but they don't say that because then you'd have to include the Canton School District. They want to say Madison County so they can use Madison County schools to prop up the A. But then these people move here and they go, what is this? This would be such a great town. Canton would be such a great town. Got to close that school district, y'all. Got to close that school district. Our property values would go through the roof, and we could build that square to look like Oxford, Mississippi. It can be done. Don't say it can't. I mean, just down the road, Gluckstadt was a dirt road. And many of you who are my age, Madison was a dirt road. Madison didn't have anything. They had Sledge's Grocery, and they had the Junior Food Mart across from the stadium there. That was it. And it only was allowed 2 people in the store at one time. I'll never forget that. 2 people in the store allowed at one time. I'm going, how does that work when you got a line of people outside? But, that's what it took. And then, of course, you went up to Ridgeland. There wasn't anything in Ridgeland. And Highway 51 still looks pretty much like it always did through Ridgeland because they're not developing that. Of course, the best thing that for taxes back then was the dock. And of course, they got rid of the dock. Why did they get rid of the dock? To build the Highland Colony Parkway that side. Otherwise, they would have had to double the size of their government. That's right. That's the real reason they couldn't work on the east side of Ridgeland. They had to work on the west side. Now they're starting to load the west side down with big box stores and stuff like that. And they're going to ruin the value of those people who were working real hard in the west side of Ridgeland to build something that would be worth something. And then, of course, these homes, are they going to lose value? Or is all the traffic? I mean, Highland Colony Parkway, you can barely drive down it now. It's the roller coaster that all these other roads that Rudy Warnock engineered back in the day. Of course, people that we give contracts to, do they have bonds? Why don't we, when the road doesn't work, we file on their bond? I know Rudy's going to jail, this, that, and the other, or allegedly he's going to court one day. And when he does, there's 2 aldermen from Canton that will be sentenced. They've already pled guilty to the crime of taking bribes. And I don't understand why bribes aren't the same thing as lobbyists taking you out to dinner or giving you a jacket or carrying you on a fishing trip, because that's what's going on, y'all. Lobbyists are running the world, and the military industrial complex is all over, with that Roger Wickerheads. He's sitting there taking in money. Meanwhile, China makes more ships than we make here in America. What are we doing? And then we're mad because China's got the upper hand on us. So we're going to be upset that they have put a tariff on us of 46%. And everybody says, well, you can't figure the tariff. It's real easy. The tariff thing, I mean, I am an idiot. And we all know that. But I can figure out the difference where they just cut it in half of what it actually should be. And it's based on what they're doing for us and what we're doing for them. It's a reciprocal, but it's only half a reciprocal. But he left the room to raise it all the way up. And y'all don't understand that a pencil can be made in America. A baseball bat can be made in America. And it doesn't have to cost $1 million. We're buying lumber from other countries. Excuse me, I got trees falling all over Mississippi everywhere. We got trees down everywhere because of the beetle. Who do you think? Those were the China airplanes flying over. When they flew that big balloon all the way across the United States, it was dropping these beetles out of the sky to make all these trees need to be cut down in Mississippi. That's right, because we don't want the lumber thing to do it. The Chinese are real good at this. When they wanted to kill our economy, they released a virus called COVID into our area, right? So then they said, oh, they got too many trees. We got to kill the trees. So they started right up there in Washington State. That balloon came from Washington State, came all the way down, came across Mississippi, went out into the Atlantic coast. And then Biden caught up with it when it got in the Atlantic because he could shoot it down then. Come on, people. Wake up. Wake up. That's not wake up because you're laying there in the bed and you need to go to work. Wake up. Understand that you got to vote. Understand that things have to change. Understand that some of you will have to stand up for your neighborhood and get everybody in your neighborhood to go out and vote. In Jackson, Mississippi, if Chokwe figures out a way to win, y'all go, there's no way Chokwe can win. If you take the 900 votes that the Republicans had, and you take all the votes everybody else had, yes, Chokwe can win. Because John Horn got what John Horn was going to get, y'all. And there's more votes out there to get. You know? In Canton, a school teacher who cheated the system that you send your kids to school. And the state of Mississippi just pulls her license, never mind the millions of dollars that have been wasted in the generations and the people that won't learn in Canton because of this one school teacher cheating the grades, getting all the accolades. Everybody was happy. There were probably awards given. There were probably bonuses given to the state by the National Party, which went to the people to do this. Yeah. What about PERS? Y'all want to talk about PERS? We'll talk about PERS. Why can't you fund it? Why don't you fund it? Why didn't you pass the sports betting? Those lobbyists have been giving you good money for something that was going to pay off. It was going to pay off. And lately, how many damn committees do we need? Why don't we shrink the government in Mississippi? Everybody's got a job in the government. Everybody's going to get a job in the government. We run a Democratic state and call ourselves a red state. We run a Democratic state and we call ourselves a red state. Don't think anything else. Nah, no, I'm just some political hack. I'm just a radio guy. I spun records on the radio. I'm nobody. But let me tell you this. I'm stupid because I allowed this government that's elected to do what they do. And that's why I run for office. And that's why some of you need to get on the ballot and run. Nothing's going to get better. It's not going to get better. It's going to get worse. And if we don't get more people out to vote soon, we just won't vote anymore. We just won't vote. I mean, it's already there, but it'll get there. Going to take another break, last break here on WYAB. I am Chip Matthews.
11 that eternal truth is explored in the scriptures on the Methodist Bible Hour USA with Gary Bryden, an ordained minister with the Association of Independent Methodists. You'll hear thoughtful study of the scriptures, insightful thoughts, and special music on the Methodist Bible Hour USA every Sunday morning at 7 on 1039 WYAB.
It's time to choose Mazda, and Mazda of Jackson is home of the lifetime powertrain warranty. Mazda is already one of the most dependable brands on the road today, and at Mazda of Jackson, your first year of maintenance is absolutely free. And at Mazda of Jackson, rates are as low as 0.9% on 2025 models. Mazda of Jackson has Mississippi's largest selection of new and certified pre-owned Mazdas, and has one of the biggest pre-owned vehicle inventories to choose from. Visit Mazda of Jackson, I-55 Renton Road, and online at MazdaofJackson.com.
I think there are a lot of people that are sitting in churches right now, or maybe sitting in coffee shops, that have a story to tell of what God's done in their life, but they're never going to get the pulpit, they're never going to get a microphone, they're never going to get an opportunity to share their story with the world. That's where we come in.
I've seen so many people that's been set free.
Life with Jesus is better than what I could have ever expected it to be.
Get the hell out of your life. Sunday mornings at 10 on 1039 WYAB.
Rotors Plumbing in Pearl, your familiar plumber with the similar name. Locally owned and operated by Chris Rotor. Rotors Plumbing is no franchise, simply lower prices and better service without the dreaded overpriced upsell. Rotors is one of the few places you'll find that actually specialize in tankless water heater repair, as well as being your full-service plumber, and most importantly, service after the sale, meaning the techs actually answer your call, with visits averaging callbacks of 10 minutes or less. Rotors Plumbing at ROEDERSplumbing.com.
If you want the best health care, where do you go? The Mayo Clinic. If you want the best care for your vehicle, where do you go? Mayo Auto Clinic in Raymond. Mayo Auto Clinic does foreign and domestic vehicles and diesel repair. Mayo Auto Clinic has ASE certified techs with over 25 years of experience. You can extend the life of your car or truck when you take it to Mayo Auto Clinic. For cost-effective repairs and maintenance, go to the best. Mayo Auto Clinic. Open weekdays at 7 a.m. Highway 18 in Raymond.
Hello there, Chip Matthews here on the story, the full story. And then we got a little bit of time here. Let's do some housekeeping. Let's do some housekeeping real quick. Tomorrow is the Rankin Pear Breakfast, or the Earl Dean Rhodes event, is what I call it. And we'll be all out there. There'll be politicians there. We'll be talking. There's some in town. They may come out. Last time Cindy Hyde-Smith showed up, and I am so upset I didn't get up and say something. I am so upset that I didn't get up and ask her how she felt about USAID at the time. But she was talking like blah, blah, blah. But then I could have asked her, why'd you vote for it? But anyway. And then let's see what else is going on. The Blues and Arts Hour comes up at 9 o'clock this morning. The award-winning Blues and Arts Hour. Only heard right here on WYAB with Chris Davis. Clay Edwards is in at 7 o'clock. He'll be locked and loaded because we had some police chase and other things. Of course, people got killed every week. Also, Sean Yurkaran with his Crossing Over show will be on at noon. Jameson Haygood will be on at 10 o'clock talking about the oligarchs and the corruption. And he will probably have a full story on Mr. Roger Wicker saying that he wants to second guess the president of the United States appointment of Pete Hegseth, a guy who's actually held a gun and run through the fields and in the current situation. Look, any veteran who wants to tell Roger Wicker what to do, they should pick up the phone and call him, because those veterans went out there in the field and actually did the work. And if you've been there and you've been in there and you've been shot at, you deserve to have your own voice. And when you've got a guy that has all the military backing him, the rank and file, you should be out supporting him. And Roger Wicker, it's wrong for you to be elected here in Mississippi and go up there and not represent the mass number of people from Mississippi that put you in office. And they only get you reelected because nobody runs against you, really. The Republican Party does everything they can to make sure you stay there. I mean, that's just the way it works here. Y'all, it's going to be a great weekend. I want y'all to support all the sponsors here at WYEB. They're all good people. They're all doing their part. They're all supporting making America great again, and would like to see you make Mississippi great again. The state Senate's going to get down there today. Y'all going down there? Y'all go what it's today, and y'all going to wrap up a little bit of business, and then you're going to do the thing. You didn't do anything. Sports betting is not a thing. You don't have a budget. You didn't fund the government, and that's your only job. And then because you were waiting to see what the federal government was going to give you. I mean, that's pathetic, y'all. You're pathetic. You know, if you don't have enough money to go out, you can't go out. You know, that's the way it is on Friday night. You don't have no money, you can't go out. You can't find a date. You can't do anything. Same at the Senate. You ain't got no money, you can't fund the program. Speaking of programs, why don't you get rid of a bunch? Okay, y'all. I want y'all to vote for me for mayor. Sound crazy when you sit here and say, Chip, you want to get in politics? Yeah, we got it. I'm stepping up and doing what I need to do. You need to step up and do what you need to do. Kim Wade y'all need to make sure, you don't understand. We got to get more people out to vote than you had, the 24,000 you had the first time, to make sure Kim Wade goes into office. You got to beat the cheat. You got to get the people in. You got to get the people to go to the polls and vote. But we're not on the ballot till June, so we got plenty of time to talk about that. But we got to get rid of Choteway. We got to get Canton back under control. We got to get all our cities under control. And that's going to do it for me. I'll see y'all back here bright and early, 6 a.m., Monday morning, right here. I am Chip Matthews, and you're listening to WYAB. Clay Edwards is next on most of this same radio station and worldwide.